Wait.
I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Guys, welcome back to
Are we
the
recording?
Whirlwind Chronicles.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you get that?
This is
Yeah.
the bunker. Welcome to the bunker.
Okay, but it's somewhat loosely, somewhat
Welcome
connected.
to the bunker.
It's connected.
If anyone would like to write us a bunker theme song, feel free to submit it.
so sick if we got a bunker.
What's the
theme
email? What's the email again?
whirlwindchronicles@gmail.com.
That's
Feel
awesome.
free to make the
Because
bunker
we are
theme
a homemade.
Because we're homemade.
homemade.
Because my mama raised me.
But guys, I have a secret email, CEO@whirlwindchronicles.com.
Excuse
Feel
me?
free to email that too.
No.
Good.
We have our own email domain.
CEO@whirlwindchronicles.com. That goes directly to me. You can also use president@whirlwindchronicles.com.
Nice.
And if you want to email me, you can email disgruntledemployee7@whirlwindchronicles.com.
I'll be the
Yeah.
HR. You can send all your
Speaking of that, we disabled your email. So yeah.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
But really, how are you doing?
Hey,
That's
I'm
good to
doing pretty
hear.
Well.
I'm glad. I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, you're talking to the audience?
Obviously.
Oh, they can't respond.
I would like them to respond out loud right now. How are you?
If you're driving right
Guys,
now and you're
so
listening to
dumb.
this, you
We're
should
off to
roll down your window and yell how you're doing.
Yeah.
man. Can we? Can we get even more like chaotic for an opening?
Oh, don't tempt me.
yeah.
All right. So we're on bunker episode number 3.
3.
Have we introduced the bunker in our episodes yet? Because we hadn't in episode 1 and 2 yet.
We should
I don't remember.
figure that out probably
Hold
before
on.
we keep recording.
Milling around in the woods, doing this, that, and the other.
Well,
Yeah.
good for you. Good. Okay.
Man, we're so
I'm actually
good.
working on a
We're so entertaining.
little hideout.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Close to here. A little underground bunker situation.
Okay, it was episode 3.
Yeah.
This is the one. This is the one where
So now you fans
We should
know
have,
what
for the first 2
bunker
episodes,
is.
just been like, oh, this show's unnamed till you get there. And then in the third one, been like, it's the bunker.
Too late.
It's way too late.
way too late.
So
Oh, well.
now you
'Cause
know
we
what the
didn't know.
bunker is. Isn't
Yeah.
it awesome, you guys?
It's so cool.
Well,
how
they've
that
never even
happened.
been to the bunker yet.
No.
Yeah.
But isn't the
Surprise, you will
concept
get to
awesome,
see
you
the
guys?
bunker at
Maybe we
some
will or
point.
will not go to the bunker.
We might never go to the bunker.
Oh.
Also,
I
this
just gave it away.
podcast,
Lord, come on, spoilers.
this podcast is audio
Maybe we go
only,
to
and so you'll never actually see the bunker. I just want disclaimer.
in your
you know?
mind's eye, you will.
You need to look deep into mine.
Okay, we really need to get on track.
Yeah, we're
here,
not doing
folks.
great.
All right, episode 3. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
What
it.
was the theme for the genre and the hook specifically? It was Western shipwreck, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Western
no
shipwreck,
clue what
yeah,
to
that
do.
was
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a tough one.
Yeah.
That was your first episode too.
Yeah.
So that's a toughie for the first episode.
You did great
Yeah.
though. I really liked the way that you tied it in. I thought that was super fun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like it was very
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know, subtle in a cool way.
Yeah. I figured I was like, I can't go all in on both in terms of like sailing the ocean and
Right.
being like a cowboy. I mean, I could, but like it would feel very chaotic and be hard for me to like think of a good grounded story. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with the Western
Yeah.
and make a shipwreck just like a part of it.
Yeah.
Like a little part of it. Just
love
a
it.
small little tinge.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, I can't deal with the accordion in this song anymore.
That's how
I'm
I
so
feel. It's
sorry.
too much for me.
It just hits that chord.
Stream
and it
Cafe,
stays for
we
too
love
long.
you very much.
But we can't with that accordion right
Josiah
now. at all.
can't with
yeah.
that accordion, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll switch this on.
It sounds like some guy like laying into a horn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or laying
in his
into an
car,
accordion.
like
Yeah.
writing the
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna fall asleep now.
Hi, and welcome to The Bunker, episode 3.
Bunker episode 3.
Woo! You now know what the bunker is.
Yeah.
And you didn't know before.
In
And
case
now
you
you-
zoned out or missed it, Ace talks about it. at the
Yes,
beginning.
in case you missed
Go
it.
Yeah.
back and find it if you can.
Yeah, he's
The
making a
bunker
bunker.
that Ace always refers to.
Well, yeah.
Will they see the bunker in future episodes?
Who knows?
No,
Who
because
knows?
this is an audio-only podcast, and you will not see anything.
Ah.
The literal answer.
But they will.
in their mind's eye.
Mm.
If you look
so
deep
I was quoting
within
Alyssa when I said
the,
that I'd like
the
to say.
eye of your mind, look at dead in the pupils.
Okay,
So-
let's move on.
So episode 3 was pirate western.
That's wrong. It was actually
Shipwreck
It was
Western.
actually Western shipwreck is what you're looking for.
I'm sorry.
But we did make cowboy pirate jokes at the beginning, I think.
yeah,
we
Probably.
did, yes.
So
Oh
I can-
yes, Captain Sea Dog.
yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Spelled C-D-A-W-G.
Dog.
That
Okay.
was hilarious.
It's what's funny? I actually didn't even think about this till just now. But like when you look back at the different like story ideas that you came up with based on the genre and the hook in the moment, because you're like stressed and you're like, I have to get this, like I thought of an idea in like 5 minutes. But then you like think back on it later and you're like, oh, I could have done this and this and
Yeah.
this. Like it's very interesting. Like I
Yeah.
think back to the concept. I'm like, there's so many like fun things I could have done.
Yeah.
I like what it turned out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
do
get
I
me
too.
think
wrong.
it was like,
but
I think it was a great story.
Yeah, I
like,
do too.
it was fun.
It was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, it was.
And it had a like really cool twist to it and everything.
The way you
Yeah.
incorporated the
Yes.
shipwreck was super cool. Like I thought that was very. I liked it a lot. I was like,
Thanks.
oh, what a good way to do that.
You want to know what the inspiration for that was?
Yes. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Yes, we do want to know.
One time Laura went on a quest.
At Great Wolf Lodge.
yeah. In one of the hallways.
With
was
the
a
Oh my
shipwreck.
gosh.
Oh.
Great Wolf Lodge, you want to sponsor
Dude.
us?
Magic
Did you
Quest.
see
I
that
would
Great Wolf
die.
Magic
That would be
Quest.
flooded?
amazing.
Did you see the Great Wolf Lodge that completely flooded recently?
Wait,
was it the
when?
Williamsburg one?
I don't know, but the whole it was.
Dude, we used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
Magic
Oh, yeah.
Quest.
Me and
I
Joe,
love-
our families used to go
Oh.
together.
My
all
family
the
used to
time
go all
growing
the
up.
time too.
Magic Quest was the best. Magic Quest,
Oh,
Grateful
so
Great Wolf
fun.
Lodge. If you want to sponsor us, we'll
Oh,
do an episode.
we
there.
will come there.
We will do a sponsored episode where it happens in a Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh my
Dude.
gosh.
That
That'd
would
be the
be
coolest
that
thing
would be
ever.
my first time in a Great Wolf
Absolutely.
Lodge.
Oh,
it's a great time.
Pain.
I've never been.
I
Oh
grew
my
up
gosh,
going
we
there
gotta
all the
go.
time.
Great Wolf Lodge, you
Here's
gotta
the thing.
get us
I
in.
kind of don't want to go as an adult though, because I feel like the magic. Will
Yeah,
be
I do
ruined.
agree.
Because as a
feel
kid,
like-
it's so huge and amazing, and
Uh-huh.
I'm sure as an adult, you're like, whoa, this place
Yeah,
is.
kind of like going
Fine.
to Disney as an adult.
Laura,
Nope,
you're
very
crushing my
different.
dreams. Great Wolf Lodge, we want to go. We really want to
yeah,
go.
Laura.
Please.
No.
Back
could
to what I
finally
was saying.
Buy a cool Magic Quest wand. Because, dude, you always
And
got
you
the...
can hear it rattle because it has to shake in
Yeah.
order to
Oh,
like
dude, it's
activate the
awesome.
magic. Yeah.
So sick.
Um,
To activate the magic, you had to rattle it.
Yeah. For the magic. I'm so glad this is an audio only podcast in this
So
moment.
Laura, what was the story inspired by?
Okay.
Stop.
it was the part in National Treasure when they find the ship in the like Arctic.
Oh, in the Arctic.
And I imagined that moment, but in the sand, and I was like,
Nice.
"Ooh,
That's
that's
very
how I'm
cool.
gonna
I love
incorporate
that.
it." And
I
then
love
I can
that.
do like a
Ace has kind of like a Nicolas Cage thing going on.
Does he?
Yeah.
In what way?
So true. So true.
You know.
Yeah.
oh man.
He's just kind of does. He's
Yeah.
got one. It's hard to sum up, but kind of like the
Uh-huh.
haw thing. You
When
know.
does he ever make that noise?
I don't know.
He kind of does though.
He just kind of does, like just like.
Oh, you know what?
Haw, haw.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
You know?
He does.
You know what I mean?
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, haw,
Yeah.
haw.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah,
Nicolas
I'm
Cage is
with
just
you.
always like haw, and then Ace is kind of like that too.
so true.
There's a lot of moments we could just skip to if we knew where you were talking, where you're just like
Yeah.
you know?
It's like I'm trying to get a sentence out, but I'm brushing my teeth.
Yeah, kind of.
That is
Sure,
kind
that's
of
what
a
it
good
is.
impression
Yeah.
of Nicolas
Putting
Cage.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
you're just
dentist
like,
is
"Oh,
asking you questions about your life. You're just like,
Yeah. All right, this went off the rails.
So Laura,
yes.
what? What? Okay. So
Did
you're
you have
saying-
a question for?
Yes. So you're saying you were inspired by oh my god.
National Treasure.
Yeah.
My brain said
One of the most inspiring movies. Of
Truly.
So true.
Truly all time.
So true.
You know,
Gotta love
that
it.
movie is a national treasure.
At the wall.
You need heat.
you need heat.
I love that movie.
Why don't we just talk about National Treasure?
Yeah, we should. We
An
should.
episode.
Because that movie is so good.
Dude, it's so sick.
I mean, who doesn't want to find a huge treasure
Dude.
in New York?
And race against Scene Bean.
Yeah,
Scene B.
he's so iconic. Ugh, love that guy.
Oh man. So Alyssa, your question. Do you know what it was?
I have a question.
Okay, what's your question, Laura?
I didn't want to cut you off. Do you have your question?
I didn't.
Okay.
She doesn't.
He's just yeah.
So I'm curious because you introduced the concept of Juniper having some secrets
Yeah.
in her backstory. And you were like, oh, yeah, she's killed people. So I've always wanted to ask you, is that something that you came up with on the spot because the story allowed it and you were like, yeah, I feel like Juniper would be the kind of person, and you just kind of came up with it, incorporated it? Or is it something that like you had known and it was like the perfect time to reveal it?
Honestly, I pretty much came up with it on the spot. Like I felt like there, because I didn't do a ton. I mean, you know, this being an improv type style, I didn't do a ton of like thinking when making Juniper and trying to like come up with her whole backstory. I kind of wanted it to be more fluid and whatever, and like kind of come up with it improvisationally. But I knew I wanted there to be more to her than just her like happy-go-luckiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, I did. I definitely came up with it kind of on the spot, but I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Like I was looking for something to be in her past, and I felt like that was it, and it came naturally, so it felt right. So I was excited about it. I felt like, as funny as and stupid as it sounds, like I felt like I was discovering it with you guys. Like I was like, oh yeah, this is totally who she is.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Yeah.
I feel like in any time I've played D&D, my favorite like character moments that have become like little cornerstones of who my character is usually found in improvisational moments.
Yes, yeah.
And dialogue with other characters.
Yep.
And I mean that's a normal that's like a storytelling not a fundamental, but it's something that I like to practice and like writing and stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's also like the idea of like relationship is where you find your character.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun. Like, I don't know.
Totally.
Sorry, maybe that sounds so nerdy.
No, it doesn't. Well, because I think honestly, like the
Too
first
nerdy for my D&D podcast. Sorry.
That's where nerds draw the line.
I think that like the first session of any new campaign is always weird because you can only flesh out your character so much because you kind of need other people to play off of and kind of figure out like who they are. So it's like weird, but also like you learn so much within literally just the first session because you actually can be like, oh, okay, this is who this character is.
Yeah.
Like you can't really know it because you can't really practice it unless we tried.
Yeah.
You tried.
Yeah, we did do that once, but
And it was so awkward and it didn't work.
Well,
it just only
yeah.
works when you're around a table with dice.
yeah. I mean, and even just like I don't,
You know?
like I
And
feel
someone there to listen to you awkwardly do it.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Speaking of dice, could I ask you guys a question? So you watched me set up all of my D&D dice right here.
I
and
did.
not
I
one of you
watched.
bothered to make fun of me or tell me to stop.
Well,
I
I
just
to be
did it.
honest, I didn't realize.
I'm not
forgot.
gonna lie. I did realize, and I was like, I wonder if Josiah thinks we're doing a full episode.
Yeah,
tonight.
that's exactly what Josiah
But
thought.
I just figured I wouldn't tell you. We'll just let you get
Oh my
excited about
gosh.
setting them up. You
Yeah,
know,
I
you
set
can just
up-
look at them for
I
fun.
actually set up way more dice than I usually do for this game.
You were
And
really
it turns
prepared
out
for
this
something
is
that
not
wasn't
even
happening.
This is not a
session.
game.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, I mean,
man, yeah.
at the time of recording, the first season has been fully recorded, and so I'm curious what you thought. You just thought we were going to kick off the second season tonight?
I
Josiah doesn't think about it much when he arrives here. He's just
No.
kind of like, I'm ready for whatever we're
Whatever I'm
doing.
Yeah.
supposed to do.
You could have told me, oh, Josiah, we're watching a movie tonight. That's what's happening, and I would have been like, oh, I guess I missed something in the group text.
And then you would have said, "Oh, I guess I need my dice."
Yeah, I would have set my dice up
We could
to
tell
watch National
Josiah.
Treasure.
We could tell Josiah anything about what we're doing ever.
What was the other-
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Joe, we know it. Yeah.
All right, so if this,
We gotta do
okay,
this.
And maybe we can cut this part because I don't know if we're gonna do this or not. But if we ever do like a Patreon, we have to do like a watch along
Yeah,
to
National
National Treasure.
Treasure.
Yeah, where we just
Oh.
record ourselves watching National
I'm
Treasure.
down.
We need to get dice rolling throughout the game involved somehow.
Why?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I mean, we
'Cause
could.
I'm gonna set up my dice anyway, so we might as well use them.
That's a good point.
Josiah
We could
goes
be
into
like,
every life
"Ooh."
situation. Goes
like,
into a
"Guys,
job
do you think-"
interview, he sets up his dice.
I'm so easily gaslit. It's hilarious.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. Gaslight, girl boss. What's the other one? Girl boss, gaslight.
Yeah.
Gangrene.
Nope.
Oh, it's girl boss gas. Oh crap.
Gangrene.
Gaslight
I
girl boss.
was going for alliteration.
There's
know?
one more.
Yeah.
Is it G?
Yeah.
That's gonna bug
No,
me.
that's what
Gangrene. I like gangrene. We'll just go with that. Gangrene, gaslight, girl boss.
I like it.
I have another question.
Great.
All right. So I do have a question that I've been wanting to ask, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask it while we record instead of like
Nice.
just us hanging
Nice.
out.
Heck yeah.
So,
I'm pumped.
audience, you might get a little. We probably don't have anyone listening to this.
That's not true. My mom is.
This is the kind of stuff we talk about when we think about planning for the podcast and the season and the story. And I'm curious of what you guys think about this. Joe, you like kind of threw in an element there that is not usual for D&D. You brought out like the poison, and because like, not that poison's not usual for D&D, but because the show is like improv based, I can't go into a scenario as a DM and know everything that's going to happen.
Right.
And so there's moments as players where we get to take over DMing in a way and say, I pull out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
poison. And it makes it hard, but there just basically has to be a lot of trust in those moments of like,
Yeah.
okay, how do you do it? Like, what is the, like, where's the line here in terms of like, just, pulling out a Deus Ex Machina kind of like,
Yeah.
saving the day kind of device. And so I'm curious of what you guys like think about that and like how you plan for, not like plan for that to happen, but like plan things that your character has, how you think about it in terms of like drawing the line and like the fun things that can come from doing a podcast like this. Like, I think it's a really unique situation because it's improv,
Yeah. For that moment, full transparency, Cal has a poisoner's kit just from like D&D starter equipment. And so I was like, well, I don't think he's just carrying around like a poisoner's kit. Like, that doesn't really make much sense. And I'm very much about like, I wanted to make character make sense. But then I was like, his mom being who his mom is, which is not really mentioned in this episode. I don't think he goes and hugs his mom at the end, spoiler. But with his mom being who his mom is, it was like before the episode and before like when I was making my character, I actually had thought like, oh, if he has a poisoner's kit, he probably doesn't have a poisoner's kit, but his mom probably honestly gave him poison in case he was ever in like a really terrible situation that he needed to get out of.
Yeah.
Just as protection. So it wasn't like entirely made up, but I hadn't told anybody.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I guess I'll just use this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do get what you're saying though. There's like a level of like trust, and it was almost in a similar vein of like June being like, I killed people before, where I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
He would have this.
Yeah, and that's a fun way to do it because it's like, okay, I pull out my poisoner's kit, or like, oh no, a more creative way to have that item in your inventory
Right.
that makes like more meaningful
Exactly.
steps for your character.
I was like, Cal's not carrying around a little kit to make poisons, but because he's just like a regular like kid.
Yeah.
But like his mom being who his mom is, I could see a conversation of her being like, if you ever really need this here, because like he also has a sword,
Yeah.
he's never pulled it out, but he has a sword, and I was like, what am I gonna do with a short sword? And I was like, I guess maybe that was from his dad, that like his dad gave him a sword and was like, this is really expensive and we use it if you really need to. But like, so like I tried to take all of the starting equipment and
Cool.
just give it more meaning.
Yeah.
Of like because again, D&D is more like fantasy than like modern day stuff. So I was
Right.
like, how am I going to turn a sword into making sense for
Yeah.
like this kid to have a sword,
Yeah. That was fun.
But
It was
yeah,
a
I
cool
think it's
moment.
fun.
It was very interesting. I was like, yeah, that was an interesting moment
Yeah.
for me to try and figure out. And like, there were some really cool character moments that came from
There
it.
was, yeah.
So
This was, I think, I don't want to speak sounding like I'm tooting my own horn or anything, because I don't think I am. But I think this was the first episode that had like a big character thing, right? Like the other ones had like cool moments, the other two before this.
Yeah.
But this was the first one where it was like...
Where we actually learned about our characters
right,
more.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Well, yeah, it kind of kicked off some of the arcs that
Yeah, that maybe
continue
that's
to
what
happen.
I mean.
Yeah, and this one was definitely like Cal focused. Like there was a lot, but there was little things for everyone.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
definitely think
100%.
like Cal had a huge character arc in this episode for sure. And like I think it also opened the door for us to start thinking in terms of arcs.
Mhm, yeah.
So we start to see that more in like later episodes, which is fun.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Laura, what was a point in the session where you kind of had things going in one direction maybe, and then we did something that caused you to have to like do a full 90-degree pivot?
Ooh. Okay. So full transparency here. Improv at work, people. What was his name? Shoot.
McGriffin.
No,
McGriffin.
the guy who ended up
Sea-Dog.
Sea Dog. But
Oh, yeah, Captain Sea Dog.
But he had a name, Buck,
C-DAWG.
Old Buck.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Old Buck.
He did?
Yeah, he was known as Old
Yeah,
Buck in the
oh,
town.
really?
Before he was revealed to be Captain Sea Dog at the end,
He was old Buck.
he was
Oh.
Old Buck, the like thug.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I originally. It was funny. Okay, so I originally was like, okay, Sea Dog's gonna be a ghost that you find at this shipwreck thing in the desert. But then, like, without me even prompting it, the whole conversation of like, have you ever killed someone, and like talking about that became like a topic for the characters in the episode, and I loved talking about that because number one, I think in D&D, and I've heard other people in the D&D world talk about this, so this is not just solely my idea, but in D&D there's a lot of like, oh, we just like kill the monster, like kill the
Yeah.
person and loot their body, like
yeah.
like I liked the idea of going more like granular
Granular.
Gangrene.
Granular girl boss gaslight.
yeah and like looking at like the actual consequences of doing that.
Yeah.
And so when you guys introduced it, I loved the fact that Alyssa was like, with June, she was like, yes, like I've experienced that. It's like a big thing. And then I loved that Cal was on the opposite side, being like, I've experienced it. It's no big deal, because he hadn't really experienced
Right.
it, but he thought he did because of
Yeah.
his past and his backstory. And those were two such opposing opinions on like a big theme. It's like perfect for a story. It's so perfect. So I was like, okay, I have to figure out a way to make Sea Dog like a real person that they have to confront, because that's so much different than confronting a monster. And so I was trying to figure out how to do it, but I didn't know how. And I knew I wanted to have some guy in the town follow you guys out there to have some sort of conflict or some sort of motivation. And so Buck followed you guys out. But then after the poisoning, I was like, perfect. He's Sea Dog. I like decided that during that scene. I was like, he's Sea Dog.
Nice.
Because I was like, okay, you have like a history. You have like this thing that happened. So it was like something I came to as I like did it, but I knew by the point that you guys were talking about like having killed someone or whatever, that I wanted to try and make him a real person. I just didn't know how to do
Sure,
it yet. So yeah, that was interesting.
Oh, you haven't killed someone? You could kill someone a day.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, it's fun to hear. I think with this one, it's especially like the improv stuff. It's really fun to hear like what you guys talk about as players and like as your characters. And then going, okay, I can see the things that they are finding important and the things that they're picking on. And so because it's improv, I have the total freedom to say, I'm going to pick up those things too and go with it. And it makes it so much more exciting for everyone. So yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I like
Nice.
was so tired that night. I did not want to DM. And then it turned into something that like was really enjoyable. So
Yeah, it was really fun.
Nice.
yeah.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Gatekeep.
Gatekeep.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. Josiah, what gives with all the snakes?
So true.
Actually, okay, so I have given that some thought. So I think,
Wow.
because we talked about this in the bunker for the second episode, how like, you know, I'm kind of lagging an episode behind with like character development in like character to like person to person moments or whatever, and so I feel like Ace, and this just kind of happened without me thinking about it. He was kind of putting on a front at first when he was talking more in the second episode for a little bit. But then by this third episode, I think he like loosens up, but like overcorrects and like is just trying to see like how like goofy he can be, maybe. Like I don't know. I was also in a goofy mood that night too, because I was riding the high of that Sea Dog joke. So it's just like
That's funny. Okay, so we have made it to the part of the show where we do one of these podcast decks.
Oh, right.
have we?
That's right. I think one of them is a part one. Is like a second edition. So maybe we just take out the second edition
And
make
roll
it
a
easy,
D4.
and roll a D4.
All right.
I forgot about these.
Josiah,
Yes.
Roll a
we're gonna have
D4.
Alyssa.
Oh, I'm rolling a dice.
We're gonna have Alyssa
I
get
knew
her
I did
dice
this
out,
for a reason.
so you don't need to use your dice. I'm
Thank-
just kidding.
thank
You can
goodness.
roll. You can roll, buddy.
Roll a D4, friend.
Roll a D4, friend.
And before we roll that D4, Joe, why don't you say a word to our sponsors
Yes.
for tonight's episode?
Yes. Guys, come on down to Gangrene's Girl Bosses. If you're looking to just upgrade your company, maybe just make a new face, you just want to get out there, but you want to make sure that you put your best foot forward, hire a girl boss. They're going to make sure they gaslight the competition. They gatekeep your products to make sure no one else can get them. And, I mean, it's a girl boss. What else can you want? So come on down to Gaslight, Gangrene, Gatekeep Girl Bosses are us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gaslight.
We're sick.
And back to the show.
And back to the show.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll this. I'll roll my green D4.
Ooh.
Wow.
Gang.
Everyone look.
Look, gang, it's my green die. I've rolled a 4.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! That means we're gonna pull from the Would You Rather deck. Ooh.
I'd rather
Can
not
I pull
pull
it
from
this
that
time?
deck.
You pulled
Sure.
it last time.
You guys want to play Would You Rather?
Oh my gosh, we should.
That's what it
Another
feels
Patreon
like.
exclusive. We'll play Would You Rather.
Isn't it? Or do you mean Truth or Dare?
No.
Well, Would You Rather is another one.
Is that a
I think.
game?
We could go around
Yeah.
and tell each other who our crushes are.
Right.
Would you rather play Truth or Dare?
Take your time.
I can't get it open.
You want me to do it?
No.
Did you try unplugging
I'm a
it
girl
and
boss.
plugging it back in?
Gaslight. Gaslight, Gatekeep Girl Boss. You're really having a tough time. This is like a national
Well, I don't want
treasure
to rip
puzzle
it.
for
I don't want to
you.
rip it.
I cannot.
You need
believe-
heat.
I cannot believe this is the same
Don't rip
Alyssa
it.
that can
Please don't rip it.
fully bridge shuffle
just-
2 decks of cards.
I
at
know.
once.
Th-
I cannot.
See,
believe
I
it's the
can't
same
do
one.
that.
I
and
can't bridge shuffle at all.
I can bridge shuffle, but I can't. Well, I can. Yeah,
can't do the-
I can't do the bridge.
Yeah.
I- so-
yeah. So bridge shuffle.
I can
You
I
give
can
it to- oh,
bridge
right, girl
shuffle
boss.
one deck
give
of
it to the
cards
girl boss over
perfectly
here.
fine, but then I can't do 2 because it feels like 2 decks of cards is too big for my hands. But then Alyssa, who has smaller hands than me, can somehow do it,
That's
and
'cause
it
I'm
drives
amazing.
me insane.
It's because I'm a girl boss. You got it. Oh God, I don't know what the deal is.
Hire Alyssa at Gaslight, Gatekeep Girl Bosses are us.
She'll shuffle your cards for free.
I'll shuffle 2 whole decks of
So
cards.
I pick it.
No, I'm picking this one. Because
Why?
Alyssa picked last week. I just asked if I
You
could.
just asked.
Do you want to pick it?
Oh.
Yeah.
So what's the order then?
I don't know. You can do it next time.
Okay.
I think
yeah.
we're all gonna answer this question.
Oh no, and then Laura
Yeah.
reads it. No.
Oh,
Remember,
Laura
and then
reads it.
Laura reads it so that
That's
we all
right,
did something.
because it's my
each have a
episode.
job.
Stop reading it,
Joe, it's my episode.
Well, is it bad?
Oh.
What does it say?
It is a would you rather.
That's funny. Would you? Okay. Would you rather your fingers always feel sticky or your throat always feel itchy?
Oh no.
Oh, this is a bad one. This one sucks.
Throat always feel itchy.
But that would be just torture,
Dude,
I think.
your throat being itchy is the worst
I
thing
could
in the
mentally
world.
deal with that more.
Really? Than
Yeah.
your hands
No,
being sticky?
I think
Yeah.
I would have to go sticky hands.
I think I would too. I think
I
you just get
think-
used to
Because you're like
it.
coughing and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it.
But I
That
can.
sounds
No,
I
you're
know
not
how. I
coughing,
know
you're
how to
just
like have
sore
an itchy
throat.
throat and not cough. Like I've
Yeah.
learned how to just be like,
Same.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I would. Oh man, sticky
Ugh.
fingers. I think that would drive me.
Sticky fingers would be
nuts.
so annoying.
You wouldn't be able
would
to type.
So annoying.
You wouldn't be able to like touch your face.
I couldn't
Ugh.
do itchy throat.
I don't know.
You know what? I might have to go itchy throat, but it would be awful because you drink water and it wouldn't help. You know?
Oh.
I feel like I could do sticky fingers because maybe I would just find a way to like wear gloves and just have that suck, like getting them on and off.
That's a good idea. You just wear gloves everywhere.
True.
All right, done.
And then you pull the glove off, and it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
you'd never get it off.
So that's like that. I'd rather deal with that though than like not be able to sing ever. You know?
True.
Josiah's a singing boy. Josiah, sing us out.
Yeah, sure. East is a place with a helpful hardware, folks.
That's really the best.
I don't
you
think I'm
got.
allowed to sing that actually.
I don't think so
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, we're gonna need a new original song.
Yep,
Here we
ready,
go.
Go.
Okay.
What?
A
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you for listening to The Bunker for episode 3. And we'll see you next time.